to a trip back to the Roman civilization with your host, Zaid Mehyar and Giordano Di Gloria. Now I will give the word to my friend Giordano Di Gloria.
Our research question was: to what extent does relationships between civilizations affect their systems and identities? Is related to our global context, identities and relationships, and to the related concepts. Because these concepts can be explained and understood through the relationship between these civilizations.
The importance of the Roman civilization is that the civilization especially contributed to accelerated thinking, enhanced creativity, and increased social awareness. Moreover, the Roman civilization contributed to numerous systems we use in today's life. They contributed to entertainment systems by giving ideas about art, theatre, and other entertainment. They contributed to communication systems by making the first newspaper, which could be used for getting news around all Rome. And this communication method was then after used by all civilizations to communicate. Through the development of art and theatre, they developed a strong social system, as in most of the monuments such as Colosseum, the entrance was free. In every city of Rome there was a forum. They were filled with shops, porticos, temples, offices, and triumphal arcs. Moreover, citizens could go there and see each other. They contributed also to architecture as they developed it at the beginning by creating such monuments like Colosseum and Circus Maximum. They developed also to the well-being of the city. Roman engineers built it in 312 before Christ's existence. The Aqua Appia, the principles to build the aqueducts, are used today, and many aqueducts built in ancient Rome are still in use.
How can Romans develop as so strong and successful cities? A city, as most of the major ancient civilizations, Romans grew to the geographical location. They established the city on 7 hills, so they could have the control of the attacks and have an advantage position, developing the political systems and the military system. Romans, through rivers and builds, they could learn from other civilizations in Italy through relationships. Also, as they began to expand through both rivers and streets, they could attack easily and faster. The ground was perfect, it allowed the growth of beans, barley, vegetables, and fruit. Later, also grapes and olives were produced that had a big impact on the economy. The Alps and the Apennines protected from attacks. As you can see from the image, Italy is a peninsula. This means that it is attached to the sea in 3 parts. The sea were the Adriatic part, the Adriatic Sea, the Mediterranean, and the Ionian. Through this, they developed the economic and the expansion of Rome. Also, so they developed also the economic system and the trading system. They trade all around the world to the sea. They had the Tiber River that developed also livestock, raising pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens.
The social system in the Roman civilization was mainly based on social classes, which doesn't relate so much to modern day social education systems. The social classes determined whether you could have a good education, the right to vote, and the right to free speech. This means that if you were in a lower social class, none of the above were permitted for yourself. However, in a higher social class, you had the right to all of the above. Therefore, there was no relationship between the different systems in the Roman civilization. Moreover, in today's systems, the main case of those things mainly is for immigrants, due to the fact that they can't vote.
The Roman system arrived at its maximum height of development in 117 AC with Republic. Republic started in 27 AC. As it started, the military leaders began to take the control with the emperor that had a lot of power. The group council, which distributed the consulate executive, judicial, and military authority. The Senate, which modified and changed the resolution of the other council and also external policies. The relationship between modern days is that the Senate still exists now as in form of government, while the group council exists as a separation of the three powers, separating executive, judicial, and military. Dividing also, agriculture played an important role in the economic system. Most people in the Roman world were farmers. Some of the people who worked on farms were slaves, but most of them were free. They produced bees, vegetables, fruit, grapes, and olives to the fertilized terrain near the Tiber River. Olives and grapes developed really fast as they developed well the economic system. They were traded by sea and they were paid a lot for being exported. Mostly they sold what they grew in markets in the towns and bought food in the market to eat, as most farmers do today, and they paid taxes. Roman farmers paid their taxes partly in money and partly in food. Farmers today do not pay partly in food but only in money. Roman people didn't have to just buy things that were made locally. Traders sailed across all the Mediterranean Sea, bringing papyrus from Egypt, glass from Phoenicia, steel sewing needles from Syria. Ships brought pork sausage and salt from Austria, tin from England, fish sauce and cooking pots and dishes from North Africa, and olive oil from Spain. These also developed the economic system, and these relationships created an impact on the Roman civilization. The livestock animal, as I said before, they were pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens.
Roman education, similar to the Greeks but mixed with Roman politics, cosmology, and religious beliefs. Only not rich were educa- Only rich were educated, with tutor to teach the children or slaves, or the children went in private school. Poor families were not education due to the social classes. In school, they learned how to read and write, and they did physical trainings preparing them for the man society and army. They learned basic math such as addition and subtraction because advanced math was difficult through Roman numbers. The school was strict, and girls were not allowed to study. Only boys were allowed. The systems in a civilization forms the civilization by that if good systems are implemented, you will have a more fair civilization, and a civilization with educated people. Moreover, the relationship between the civilization informing the identity is that if good systems were implemented in the civilization would become better. However, if bad systems were implemented, the opposite would happen. This is seen in the Roman civilization by that education was only affordable for the higher social classes, which meant that only a little part of Rome got educated.
Bye, see you next week to another documentary.